Hello, welcome to episode 18 of the Top 2 Inches Rugby podcast, brought to you by I Spy Surveys, the go-to specialist survey and inspection company based in Exeter, Devon. So, what is coming up on this episode? Ollie will be joining us shortly to have a chat about all things Premiership, talk about the latest round, what happened, what went down. We'll also have a chat about the games in the Allianz Premier 15 for the ladies. Some interesting results come out from the weekend. We'll also check in on the fantasy rugby, see how that is progressing, who's it been a good week for and who hasn't it been a good week for. And we will also maybe have another little look just ahead to the Six Nations. I know we've done quite a lot about that, but we'll just maybe have another little touch on that. But also we're going to have a little bit more of an in-depth chat about Bath and what is happening down at the Rec. Obviously we're going to be available on all kind of major platforms from Anchor, Spotify, YouTube and Apple Podcast, and as always we are available on Twitter at Top 2 Inches RP, so go on there, give us a follow, subscribe. You get the feeds, you get the episodes in the feeds each week. I think we've also had some questions, or maybe one question from a listener, so we'll check that out as well, maybe bring that into the conversation with Ollie. So yeah, that's what's coming up on this episode. Okay, so let's just check in on the ladies' game. There were two scheduled games last weekend. Unfortunately, only one of them got played. The game between Gloucester Hartpury and DMP Durham Sharks was postponed because of flooding after heavy rainfall on Friday. There were flooded roads on the main route to Hartpury College venue. So for safety reasons, they decided to cancel the game. The other game was a game between Exeter ladies and Saracens ladies. And boy, what a game this was. It was played down at Sandy Park. I managed to see some of the highlights of the game, and bloody hell, Exeter Chiefs won. Saracens suffered their first Premier 15s defeat since October 2018. And that was a defeat. This defeat ended a 33-match unbeaten run for Saracens. And they'd won having won both the Premier 15s Championship in the 2017-2018 and 2019-18 and 19 season, which was incredible for Exeter Chiefs. I mean, what a victory for the ladies there. They went 15. Exeter went 15-0 up. Tries from Poppy Leach, Kate Zachary, and Gabby Cantrona kicked 5 points, and they pretty much took the game to Saracens. They just attacked. They nulled kind of Saracens' attack. It's an amazing achievement. I mean, Saracens have been it says it all. 33, winning 33 match unbeaten run. 2-time Premiership champions, and fair play to Exeter. They're certainly building something down at Sandy Park, like the men's team have done over the last few years. And currently, I think Exeter are 10 games in, 5 wins, 5 losses. I think they're sitting around 5th in the table. So absolute fair play to them. What a game it was, and a bit unexpected to be fair, but nevertheless a fantastic victory for the Exeter ladies, and they are certainly growing into the challenge of the league. I wonder if they're doing better than anybody expected them to do. Maybe not necessarily people that are actually in the Exeter camp. Maybe the outsiders thought they wouldn't go as well given their first season, but they are certainly doing a good job at the moment. Ollie, how the devil are you, my man?
Hello, mate.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. How are you?
Not too bad. Yes.
How's things in your Lurgeed household, mate?
Well, I have fallen foul of COVID-19.
You have. I'm very impressed. You've not even COVID can stop you doing the pod, mate.
Absolutely, mate. Die hard, me. Die hard. To be fair, I've not been as bad as the missus. I'm very tired. It certainly is draining.
Yeah.
She has experienced all spectrums of the symptoms, and I think it's still considered mild. Bless her. She's struggled a bit with her breathing, lost her taste, lost her sense of smell,
Gosh.
totally fatigued, and obviously having 3 kids, isolating, educating.
Pretty fatigued anyway.
Yes, so an extra level of fatigue has occurred this week. But anyway, we're not here to talk
Oh, mate,
about.
it's horrible. No, it's horrible though, mate. It's
Yeah, it's not great, mate. But hey ho, you just got to carry on, haven't you?
yeah. Best wishes to you all. Get a speedy recovery. That's the main thing, isn't it?
Definitely, and hopefully, I think we come out of isolation on Sunday.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, so the kids get to go back to school, thankfully. But it just means watching Six Nations could be a bit of a bugger. With the kiddies running around, I might have to just dose them up and lock them in the shed or something. I don't know.
Under the stairs again, mate.
Under the stairs. Best place for them. So there is quite a lot of rugby to talk about, and I've thought about how to kind of raise this subject with you. And I thought, you know what, I could go quite hard and be a complete arse because obviously it's Bath. Let's just cut straight to the chase. But I feel quite sad for Bath, mate, if I'm honest. Such a great club, such a history behind them. And obviously Friday night they took, I don't even want to say it, it's just an absolute pasting. Would you agree? Or, I mean, did you see that coming? I remember you saying you'd be happy if they kind of came away with a losing bonus point. But 48-3, bonus point kind of got within the first half an hour, maybe?
I think it's sort of 35 minutes, wasn't it? But yeah, I give up, mate. I'm going to support Chiefs, I think now.
Don't blame me the way it's going.
No, it's horrendous, mate. I've gone through all sorts of. Obviously, Friday night I was pretty gutted.
Judging by your text you sent me when I said keep it under 60.
Yeah, well, I did. I watched most of the first half, and then actually, fortunately, probably more than anything, the childcare, kiddies' bedtimes and everything got in the way, sort of thing. So I couldn't watch the full game, but that's probably a good thing because I wouldn't want to sit through all that anyway. But yeah, it's just I don't really know, mate. I've obviously thought about it and gone through different emotions up and down each day, I think, but kind of at the point now. You ask about. I certainly wasn't expecting a win because Bristol were on fantastic form. They're obviously going to be challenging for the league this season, aren't they? They're definitely going to be Exeter's biggest rivals.
Yeah, I think agree
this season. But form-wise, obviously Bath are probably the worst form side, probably along with Gloucester, and then Bristol are probably the form side at the moment. But so yeah, going away just with that, I wasn't expecting a win. But it's just, and even the scoreline, it's just the nature of it is just what really grates me. It's just there's just no fight in them. There's just no, do you know what I mean? No pride, no get out and give it a go. It's just I don't know. I can't. We'll never know because we're not there and in the club. But you think of different things that could cause it, but unless you're there to try and put your finger on what causes that for players to basically just go out and not even run through the motions because they just aren't even giving it a go almost. It's just.
Yeah, they didn't look like there was any effort from the highlights that I kind of watched after, they just didn't, there was no structure. They didn't look like there was a game plan.
No, there's no, I mean, there is that. There's no, totally that's been criticised on the coaching side. No structure, the attacking's poor, the defence is poor. But just on a player side of it, even if you've got that and there's no direction coming from the coaches or whatever, still just these are top class, supposedly international, however many it is, 20 odd internationals in the squad, 4 or 5 British Lions. They're professionals. They should be earning their money every single game. Do you know what I mean? And just they ain't putting that in. So
Do you think there's a bit of an element, and obviously I know you said it from like a fan perspective, that if we get a bonus losing point, that's good. Do you think there's a perspective that the players think that as well, that they're going into Bristol knowing that it's going to be a tough game and just kind of think, oh, it?
no, well, no, I don't.
Well, I don't know, mate.
Maybe under the circumstances, yes, but it obviously shouldn't be. The fact is, Bath aren't where we are. Whatever's happened so far this season, even with the end of last season, we had a bit of a good run, obviously, at the end of last season, which was looking good. But even though we've got all these top internationals, just where the club is, we're not really in a realistic position to be challenging for the title yet. But we shouldn't be struggling like we are, and as low down in the league as we are. We should be at least challenging for top 4 with the squad that we've got. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I mean, at the moment you're down in 10th, played 7, won 2, lost 5.
Yep.
12 points.
Yep.
Wasn't one of those wins COVID related as
well? Yeah, I think it was, mate.
Okay, so realistically only 1 win. Do you think it's Stuart Hooper, or do you think? I don't think you can blame Stuart Hooper. I think it falls with the players. Or do you think it's an element of a bit of both?
I think personally it's a bit of both. Yeah, without being there, I don't know, mate. I just don't know. It's my concern. I don't. I mean, there's obviously a lot in the media, social media, whatever. So straight away, Hooper out. But I'm not really one for that sort of attitude anyway, because that's like football attitude, isn't it? It's just a few bad results. Get a new manager in or get a coach in. And I don't think that's not the way rugby is and should be, and it's not really the way to go, because you're never going to get any sort of stability. You've got to give people a chance. And at the end of the day, they've selected Hooper in that position. Think they see it in him that he can do a job for sort of longer term with Bath. So they've got to give him a chance, haven't they? But yeah, I don't know. My concern is it sort of his lack of experience as a director of rugby that's not getting the coaching team and the staff all gelling, because at the end he's selected them all, isn't he? And it's his role to get everything clicking and working, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Well, yeah, I mean that's just the thing. He's literally gone from being a player to a director of rugby. He's got no formal experience of coaching, like just being a forwards coach or a defence coach.
I think he did a season or so under Blackadder, didn't he? But
my mistake.
Almost learning the rate, but that was cut short, wasn't it? I think it was meant to be in the original plan that he was supposed to take over a season later.
The letter that Bath put out about the plan. Yeah,
they cut Blackadder's contract short. I think it was about a year, and so essentially Hooper was thrown into the role a year sooner than was planned. But then you question, if it's down to Hooper, if the issue is down to Hooper's inexperience, then it's the people who have put him in that position are at fault, isn't it? Because they put him in too soon. So then, you're into, who is it? Tarquin McDonald, the CEO, and all that sort of thing. I'm sure he's probably the one who's the main man for selecting Hooper. But it's just depressing, mate.
Yeah, and not to add to the depression that you're currently, having, but obviously Anthony Watson is out of contract at the end of the season. There's talk of him going to Racing.
He's re-signed, mate.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I heard today he's re-signed, actually.
Okay, so
because there's all these rumours flying around, so he's put out, I think, on social media that he's staying.
Okay, so Christian Judge, he's off to Worcester.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, not the end of the world. You're going to have all clubs get movement, don't they? Bath are quite blessed in the front row, aren't they? So you're never going to keep everyone happy. That's just nature of the game, isn't it? I suppose, for rotation of players and all that sort of thing. So
yeah, I just wondered if that kind of demonstrated maybe there is something underlying within the club that people aren't happy about. Because Obana is supposed to be off to Exeter, isn't he?
Well, again, it's only rumours, isn't it? A lot of these
Oh, I
rumours
like a
come
good
out from
rumour.
because it's trying to increase the values of the players and whatever else their tactics are. But yeah, I mean, I never. It's all, I say I'm into the rumours as well. It's all good till things are confirmed that it's nothing, is it? But no, I don't know. And I think actually, I don't know if you saw, there's a statement come out between Bath and Mercer in the last day or so, explaining the reasons for his move, and I think that was a clever move. The way that was done, that no bad feeling.
No, I wasn't aware of that. What's that then?
Well, essentially, Mercer's just come out and said that it's always been a long-term ambition of his to go and play in France.
Okay.
And he's decided, he's only 23, isn't he? So he decided this is the right time to do it because he's not in the England reckoning. So I think the thought is sort of go and he signed a 2-year deal, I think, with Montpellier, isn't it? Is it Montpellier?
Yeah, I think so.
So, 2 years out there, and he's still going to only come back at 25, and still possibly Eddie Jones has moved on then, and he's back in England contention again, isn't it?
Okay, so that is quite a smart move then. So do you think he would go back to Bath then?
I think that's the reason or part of the reason why they probably put that out, that to show the fans that there's no, there's nothing untoward going, that it's not just Bath not fighting to keep him or anything like that. It's an amicable parting and decision, and it leaves the door open for him to return if he wants to as well, doesn't it? So.
Okay. So what do you think Bath need to do? As a Bath fan for many years, what do they need to do to turn things around this season? Or is it a case of this season's pretty much out the window? Hopefully that's ring fenced, so there's no relegation. What do you think they need to do? Obviously, they've signed some South Africans.
Yeah. Again, like I'm not one to jump on the bandwagon rash decisions. Oh, director of rugby out, coaches out. Like I just think you've got to give it a bit more of a chance. I mean, he only took over at the beginning of last season, and at the end of the day, Bath ended up 4th in the league last season, didn't they? So that's the best we've done for several seasons. So maybe a little bit fortuitous there with the way the season ended, that sort of thing. But
top four's top four, mate.
Top four's top four, exactly. Yeah, I think things obviously ain't right, and as I say, it's really hard for anyone outside of the club to pinpoint. I know, but it's almost concerning. It was very honest. I heard an interview Cam Redpath did I think it was about a month or so ago now, but he basically was saying that there's no cohesion or cooperation or no trust between the forwards and the backs, and they're almost working like two different, what you want to call it, two different sort of teams on the pitch.
Wow.
As in the forwards don't want to give the ball to the backs, and vice versa. When the backs got it, they want a load of forward play sort of thing. But I mean, that I thought that was really good that you've got a professional player who's, if that is correct, yeah, he's speaking it as it is, sort of thing. That's great, but that's so concerning if that's true, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, again, what are the coaches doing to even let that be a thing? And this is professional rugby at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I've not experienced that sort of thing since probably, I don't know, not even minor club rugby. Or
I was going to say, I've never experienced that, mate. Any team that I played in, there was always.
Now you always get a bit of banter, don't you, forwards and backs and all that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, but that's banter, not literally. We don't want to give you the ball because we can't trust what you're going to do.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's just ridiculous anyway, because both the potential in Bath backs is unreal if they're sort of drilled right and given a chance, and obviously the pack's pretty impressive as well, isn't it? And has shown that. But to work the two together, and you've got a decent side, haven't you? But playing against each other, it's never going to work.
No, absolutely.
But no, it's an off the field, in my view, and it always has been with Bath. It's a sort of, whatever you want to call it, a mental thing or a cultural thing. It's just not clicking right. They've got all the talent on the names on the team sheet, but it's just getting it right and getting it working it together as a team. As I say, the signs at the end of last season coming out of the first lockdown was fantastic, and I thought, finally they cracked that, and it's actually playing the sort of standard that they should be with the squad that you got. But back to square one again this year.
Yeah, such a shame. It is genuinely a shame. Okay, so I guess you'll be happy to move on.
Yeah, I don't really know what else to say, mate. I really don't. I mean, my only hope is, without any rash decisions, just sort of carry on. There's a few new guys coming. I think, then have you heard the other South African, the number 8's being confirmed now, isn't he? Coetzee.
Yeah, was that the guy that was at Ulster, or have I got that completely wrong?
I don't know if he was, mate.
Okay, maybe they're so similar names, aren't they? I think I've got that.
He's only 24, I think. So.
Okay.
No, that is a different one. That's a different. I think it's the same surname, isn't it?
Okay. All right.
But yeah, he's supposed to be quite useful. I think it's a sort of first position number 8, and he can play flanker as well. But yeah, he's originally, the announcement was he'll be joining next season, but they've brought that forward, so he's actually coming over next month. So yeah, I mean, that's the addition of, and obviously got a new South African hooker. He's coming next month, and
the fly half,
which is the one that I've really got pinning my hopes on, because I think the way Bath have been playing, and if you're going to say there's a problem between linking between forwards and backs, then to me that's your half backs. We've got a proven number 9 that we know is potentially world class, isn't he? Spencer, he's certainly very, very solid. But Priestland has always been a question mark to me. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I just don't think he's the correct fit for Bath and the team, and certainly the back line that you've got there. He's not the right sort of player to utilise that back line. That's the
so he's not the guy for the style that Bath want to have, effectively.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to have that amount of talent outside, then you need a 10 who's going to be attacking the gain line and getting those guys playing, isn't it? And getting the ball in hand.
Yeah,
otherwise, like having them out there, isn't it?
Yeah, like a Marcus Smith.
Exactly, Marcus Smith, George Ford, the likes of. That's the sort of number 10 you want. Again, hopefully this new Schumann will be able to do the job. And then Dempsey, that's already been announced. He's off end of the season with a new attack coach coming. Whether or not that's brought forward or not might be the only sort of big decision, if that is possible to bring that forward. But other than that, probably. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of people saying about there's no out and out defence coach at Bath, so that might be something else to look at. You've got all these sort of background staff. I think there's 2 or 3 bloody sports psychologists or whatever on the books and things like that, but no out and out defence coach. So question mark, especially with defence being as shocking as it's been so far.
Well, yeah, mate. I mean, 7 tries. I know it's Bristol, but still, 7 tries is such a crazy amount to kind of let in.
It is, and a lot of that structure with your training, but also a lot of it I still put at the fault of the players, because you've got people like Jonathan Joseph, who's arguably one of the best midfield central defenders, certainly in the country, if not in the world, and he just wasn't even seen. He was literally letting the likes of Adrada just go straight through. But
we shall see, mate.
Time to move on, mate.
Well, that's fine, mate. I appreciate. I know it would have been difficult.
Take after this, mate.
Okay, so let's move on to the other game. Obviously on Friday night, it's Leicester Sale. Just a quick question: did you listen to the extra content? Me kind of giving a little chat through the game. What did you think? Was it any good? Was it rubbish? It's okay to say it was rubbish. I don't mind.
No, I did, mate. I liked it overall. It was good. A good effort. I think the way he did it was good as well. I don't know if you had any other feedback, but sort of a round-up every 20 minutes worked quite well.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I did have some other positive feedback from our editor. He thought it was quite nice. He enjoyed it. So that's good. From the editor of the podcast.
Oh, good.
So he was quite pleased.
My only criticism is but that's just standard with you as a Tigers fan. You're getting a bit carried away in the first half.
I did. Well, I don't know. Did you watch the game? Did you watch the highlights?
Only highlights, mate. Only highlights.
I think Leicester played well in the first half. They dominated the first half. As I said, in my commentary during the game, they dominated the first half. Defence was the key. We had Sale in the scrum. And obviously Sale got their breakaway try through James, which wasn't great. And then at half
Yeah,
time,
to be honest, there's a couple of sort of silly errors, wasn't it? That breakaway try and then the yellow card shortly afterwards was
it's
almost
always
the point of the game, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. What did you think of Freddie? Is it Freddie Stewart, the fullback for Leicester? I thought he was good, mate.
Yeah, I think he's a cracking player, real potential there. He got absolutely done by mile and yard, didn't he? But,
but most people would in that
other than that,
respect.
yeah, in that much space, certainly. But yeah, other than that, yeah, he looks really promising, mate. That's a good.
Yeah, I was really impressed by him.
He's pretty good, isn't he? Got quite a few good youngsters coming up, I think, haven't
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also one kind of thing that I mentioned, I just thought that Leicester had that little bit of nasty about them again. Like the Leicester of old, they looked a bit like, a bit of a scrap between Faf de Klerk and is it Minoni, the Argentine centre. I enjoyed that.
I didn't see that, but yeah, you said in your commentary. That's good, mate. Well, it's good. You got to have a bit of that. I mean, I'm not one for talking about Leicester of old.
No,
I've said this to you before, mate. My view is Leicester need to be Leicester of new, isn't it? Finding a new way because the game's moved on from the amazing Leicester of old that dominated for so long.
Let's put that in the diary.
Yeah, that one slipped that one accidentally.
Yeah,
the team that dominated for so long and the style of play that they were renowned for. I mean, the game has moved on.
No, I understand that, mate. Totally agree.
Back finding a new way, isn't it? But,
yeah, absolutely. But from a Leicester fan's perspective, it was disappointing just that it unravelled so easily in the second half. I think we probably deserved a losing bonus point, which is obviously not what you necessarily set out for. But yeah, I mean, 25-15, the final score. I think Leicester are improving, but I think it's probably going to take the rest of the season and maybe next season until we're potentially back up challenging for top 4 spots.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, Leicester have massively turned the corner, haven't they? And Borthwick seems to be doing some good stuff there. But it is a massive building from where, no disrespect, but from where Leicester got to, as in the depths that they got to in the last couple of seasons. There's realistically there's a long way back to before you're starting to challenge for the trophies, isn't it? So
absolutely, I agree.
But it's building well, but you've got to strengthen the squad at the same time, isn't it? Which obviously they're doing, but like you say, that doesn't happen overnight, does it? You're going to need a season, if not a couple of seasons more to before you got everything working together, isn't it? But good. You got you got to be feeling a lot more positive as a Tigers fan than you were last season or last couple of seasons. That's for sure.
Definitely. No, I agree, mate. And are you, do you think one Friday night we could get together and do a little co-coms?
Yeah, I'd love to, mate. That would be good.
Cool. All right. We'll try and make that happen soon then for the 9 listeners at the moment. Anyway. So I think one point I just want to quickly raise before we carry on talking about the games. Our predictions this week were shocking.
Mine weren't too bad, mate. I don't think.
Well, I think you got 2 and I got 1.
I got 1 better than you because I predicted a Tigers loss at night.
You did. So Northampton, Gloucester at home. I think.
Yeah, we both said Gloucester home, didn't we?
We both said Gloucester home, didn't we? Yeah.
That was bit of a surprise, but actually now you've seen that game. I mean, I didn't watch the game. I've seen the highlights, but now you've seen how that one panned out. Then no surprise at all. That's Northampton, the best performances of this season for them, certainly, wasn't it?
No, absolutely. And let's not forget also, they hadn't played since Boxing Day, had they? I don't think.
Yeah, exactly. So
they were well rested, and the whole. I think last week we kind of said they might be a bit rusty. Didn't look rusty at all, really.
No, they
played quite well, I thought.
They look pretty impressive. Whether they can back that up again next week, but Gloucester are a bit more concerning, isn't it?
Yeah. I think
if relegation's still live, that's the only saving grace for Bath at the moment, is the way Gloucester are going.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be fair, I don't think Gloucester are far off, kind of winning that kind of game. I think they just, they lacked a bit of. I mean, Ollie Thorley looked really good. His run, and then his nice little back inside ball to Willie Hines to score the try. I thought that was really nice.
Yeah.
But it's that new, untested Skivington director of rugby coach kind of scenario, and implanting his vision of what he wants Gloucester to do, isn't it? So
yeah, you got all that, and they've had quite a lot of squad disruption as well, which doesn't help, does it? It's, they lost a couple of key forwards, didn't they? When
the two South African second rows.
Yeah, so the bit sort of weak in the engine room, so to speak, aren't they? And then Pelledri's out, isn't he? So that hits them, and then obviously Danny Sipp's going, and then the only real number 10 backup they've got crocked in this game, didn't he? So that's
Evans got nailed out early, didn't he? I think.
Yeah, it was in the first half, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, not long into the game, I don't think. So is it worrying times for Gloucester? Do you think they're hoping for ring fencing?
I think everyone's hoping for it now, aren't they? But yeah, it is. I mean, they're going to be down in it, aren't they? Down in the fight, whatever. But they're probably, with Bath, they're by far the two sort of worst form sides, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately,
at the moment we are. Is it 6 rounds in?
Yeah, I think it might be.
Yeah, so there's a few.
Well, no, that was round 7.
Round 7, yeah, of 22, isn't it? So,
so it's not that far in. There's still a chance for everybody to kind of pick things up a bit, but
exactly, yeah. You get. I mean, it's like if you say 6. If you've had a bad 6-7 rounds, if you get a good 6 or 7 rounds, then you're up near top 4 or whatever, aren't you? So that's just how the league is, isn't it? But
yeah,
need a bit of change in both those clubs for that to happen.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. I'd agree with that, mate. I'd agree with that. But I think it was nice that Northampton had a victory.
Yeah,
because obviously they'd have a really difficult time lately. So, the only way is up, I guess, for both of those. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Next game, Exeter Worcester. So Exeter came out victorious, 21-17. Closer game than I expected.
Yeah.
I think Worcester still look good though. I think again Worcester are one of those teams that are so close to kind of clicking and getting it right on the day. They produce some lovely kind of play. Their attacking play is really good. And obviously just Exeter are a bit stronger, but Exeter just look a little bit off the pace still, don't they? Even with the 2 weeks rest, they don't look like they're clicking. Obviously Hoggy was playing, Johnny Gray was playing. It's not like they lost. It was a pretty full strength Exeter side. So I was a bit.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. It was. I think personally, I think their performance was, in comparison to the 2 rounds before the break, was by far better overall. But still not what you'd expect from Exeter is the thing, isn't it? They're still nowhere near their best, are they?
No.
But I suppose the main thing to take out of that is, like they say about top championship winning sides, if you can keep winning when you're playing badly, then that's always a good sign, isn't it? So,
well, Leicester built a dynasty on that, mate.
They didn't know how to play well.
Well, no, they knew how to play well. They just kept winning when they weren't playing well. Yeah,
and that's the crux of it. You got an away win there at the end of the day, wasn't it? So,
yeah, absolutely.
That could easily have gone the other way. I think if that was before the rest, then Worcester probably would have picked that one, wouldn't they? But
potentially, yeah, I'd agree on that one. Okay, so that kind of brings us into Sunday, London Irish against Newcastle.
Yeah.
London Irish came out victorious, 31-22. We both said Newcastle, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, no, you did say Newcastle in the end. I mean, London Irish came out the blocks firing, really, didn't they? They got, Creevy got a nice try. They just fronted up against Newcastle, and obviously Newcastle came back into it. Gary Graham got a nice try. I don't think listening to Dean Richards after, he wasn't overly impressed. He just kind of said, I think that, London Irish just fronted up and they didn't quite have it on the day. But it's no, I don't think they can be too disheartened when they look at their league position. They're 4th, I think, at the moment. They're just in the top 4. Played 7-1-5, lost 2, 20 points. I think he'd be happy at this stage, don't you?
Well, yeah, he's got to be, isn't he? He's got to be coming up now, coming up from the Championship. I don't know, mate. I didn't see all of this one, but I saw highlights. I think it looked to me like probably London Irish's performance of the season so far.
Yeah, I'd agree.
And against what is a bit of a weakened Newcastle team as to what they've been able to put out so far, isn't it? I think losing Wilson and Gary Graham in particular is looks like it's probably quite a hit for them, isn't it? I don't think Newcastle played particularly badly, but it was just that little. I mean, Graham and Wilson are just massive dog fighters, aren't they? So
yeah, absolutely.
That's sort of been taken away from them a bit. So it might have been as simple as just losing the likes of them is the difference. And I think London Irish probably pulling out the performance of the season for them so far, which is good. But we've already discussed it. The same with Worcester. They're both in different ways. They're both good sides, aren't they? And they can pull these performances out, can't they? So
yeah, again, it's the inconsistency, isn't it, to do it week in, week out, and that's
it. Yeah,
that's how you become a top team like Exeter. And like we said, you win ugly, you win when you're not playing well, and you dogfight till the end.
Yeah.
So
and it's when you get a couple of defeats, it's not getting into that losing mentality, isn't it? You've got to just take it on the chin and make sure you turn it around and try and get a win the next week, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That's where clubs like that struggle, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I'd agree on that one. I'd agree. So the last game, which we completely screwed up in terms of prediction.
I think everyone would have for this one.
Harlequins literally put Wasp to the sword, 49-17.
Yep.
Is it the fact that Gustard's gone?
Yeah, I mean, possibly it happens sometimes, doesn't it? When you get a change in coach, you get a sudden reaction.
Yeah.
Can go either way, but obviously this one's gone very positive for them, hasn't it? But,
yeah.
That was just like a real nail in the coffin, kick in the nuts after the Bath game on Friday night to see Harlequins pull that performance out of the bag, because
you've got them next week at the Rec, haven't you?
Yeah, that's just great. But yeah, we'll obviously move on to predictions in a minute. But yeah, I mean, fantastic for Harlequins. That was a performance and a half. Just hoping they haven't got any way of backing that up next week.
I think everything just clicked for Harlequins, really, didn't it? The forwards were dominating. The forwards were coming onto the board at pace. They were smashing people. Joe Marler was knocking people about. Don Brandt was doing what he does. Marcus Smith was looking shit hot. Danny Kerr looked like a man possessed. I think you saw that in Danny Kerr's try when it looked like he got held up over the line. He's still wrestling to get the ball down and gets the ball down and gets the try.
Yeah.
So it was definitely looked like the players are kind of turned around and said, look, we need to start performing, because they are a quality team. They've got quality players throughout the team, and to be not performing to that level consistently, I mean, that's going to be the thing next week. Is it consistent? Do they have this awesome win against the top 4 side, and then go down to Bath and get absolutely pumped, which you're hoping for, and that would be typical Harlequins.
I would, yeah. I mean, just out of that, I think that we were talking about the sort of senior player power or whatever at the club with Gustard leaving. Is there any link or connection? But I think this shows that their senior group of players have obviously certainly got some influence on the playing squad and on the pitch when they want to, isn't it? Because I think it's those guys who have taken it by the scruff of the neck and probably said, let's with everything that's gone on in the week, let's just let's put the performance in on the pitch, boys, and get it going. And they've certainly done that, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Cracking reaction. But
yeah.
I hope it's back to old Quins, certainly on the away form, and lack of consistency next week. So we managed to get a win at the Rec. But
you don't sound convinced.
Confident at the moment.
No, I think I can hear it in your voice, mate. So let's move on to next week. Obviously, next weekend, Friday night, is Bristol Sale.
Yeah.
At Bristol.
Ding dong. Could be a ding dong.
I think that could be quite a close game. But I could see Bristol doing to Sale what they did to Bath at home. I could see that.
As in that sort of scoreline?
Maybe not as high as that. And I would imagine Sarah would clock up a couple of tries, but I could see it being maybe a 7-point victory, maybe a bit more, maybe 14-point victory for Bristol.
Yeah, I think I'd go Bristol as well. I think it will be close. How close is the question? But I think Sale, certainly on their performance last week, looking quite promising, even though they're missing a few boys, aren't they? But obviously Bristol are missing a few as well. But yeah, I think I agree. I think it'll be close, but I would go for Bristol on that one.
Okay, so that then takes us on to Saturday, where there is 1, 2, 3, 4 games. Wasp Northampton.
Cool, that one now, going on last weekend, eh?
Yeah, I'm going to go for draw.
Oh, you serious? You go for a draw?
Yeah, I'm going to go for draw.
That's odds on that one. Okay.
I'm going to go for a draw of 36-all. High scoring draw. I don't think I could choose between them two, mate.
No, that is really tough one. I'm going to go Wasps.
On the basis that.
What's my theory there?
I don't know.
Wasps will be stung. Excuse the pun from last week.
Nice.
Last week's result, and I can't see that coaching setup and playing group letting that happen 2 weeks in a row. And Saints, although cracking performance coming back after a long break, don't know if they'll back it up 2 in a row. The break might kick in the second game, sort of thing. But,
yeah, no, I understand. Which is why I think my draw sounds quite a good option.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
So then 2:15 on Saturday at the Rec, Bath wins.
Yeah, well, I'm going to back my boys because I always back my boys, but that's Bath. I'll go for Bath. Bath win.
Okay, so let's
please.
Let's think about this logically. Bath would have lost quite a few players. They've got a few injuries as well.
If we think about it logically, it's a Quins win.
Harlequins don't really lose anybody, apart from maybe Lang to Scotland. I'm going to say Bath.
Really?
Yeah, I think it might be.
That surprises me.
I think it might be COVID. It's made me a bit delusional.
Oh, you're COVID, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, mate.
Is that a symptom?
Don't know, possibly. At the Rec, Harlequins inconsistent, not great away from home. Bath can't be as bad as last week. Had a rocket up them. Hoops gets them all fire in the right direction. I'm going to go Bath.
Good man.
No worries. Bath by 3.
I'll take whatever.
Yeah.
I'll take
anything will do.
By 1 will do, mate. By 1 will do.
And then Leicester-Worcester. So Worcester, over the last few years, have been Leicester's bogey team. They've won at Welford Road a couple of times, I think. We're at Welford Road on Saturday. Tigers.
I'm going to go Worcester. Yes. Close, really close game, but I'm going to go Worcester.
Tigers by 6.
Okay, Worcester by similar.
Oh, fair enough. It'll probably be a draw. London Irish Gloucester.
Got to be London Irish, isn't it?
On current form, I would say London Irish.
Yeah.
And obviously, Skivington was at Irish, so there's been a bit of bad blood there.
Yeah,
maybe,
true. Yeah,
maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to go Irish by a score.
Yeah,
Go on.
Yeah, I'm not sure on the score. I think they could beat them fairly well, but yeah, I would definitely go with Irish. I just can't see. I can't see Gloucester doing it, and especially with Evans out now, because that's basically probably leaves 12 trees covering the number 10, which he's perfectly capable of, but he's not a number 10, is he? So
no.
Yeah, Irish, I think.
Okay, fair enough. Newcastle, Exeter.
Chiefs.
No, Newcastle.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Let's think about this. So there'll be no Hogg, there'll be no Gray. Exeter aren't playing great. Newcastle's a hard place to go. Newcastle pretty much don't lose anybody, apart from Gary Graham and
Wilson.
I'm going Newcastle.
Fair enough. I'm sticking with Chiefs.
Okay, good decision. Okay.
No, we've got quite a varied there, haven't we? What do we
have, mate?
We agreed on Bristol, Sale, Bath, Quinns. That's it, isn't it? No, London, Irish, and Gloucester. 3 we agreed on. Okay, 3 and 3.
3 and 3. Okay, so I can't remember. Did we do predictions for the Six Nations? Italy, France?
No, we not for the round. We did what we thought final positions would be, I think, didn't we?
But yeah, so go on. Let's go predictions for the round. Italy, France.
Italy. Joking. France.
Oh my god. It's nearly as funny as saying Bath will beat Quinns. England, Scotland. Now, hang on a second. Finn Russell juggling tennis rackets and rugby balls.
Unreal. Absolutely
ridiculous.
Unreal. Yeah.
I actually think this could be tighter than we think.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think and really hope England win. But yeah, it's not going to be easy. Scotland are going to be well up for it, and they are tasty side on paper now as well. So
yeah, I think probably England by 9.
Yeah, probably not going to be much more than that.
No.
Or I'll be surprised at much more than that. I think one of the big question marks, if you want to call it that, to be interested to see how it pans out is the Saracens boys, isn't it? To see.
Yeah, guys not played for since the Autumn Nations.
A couple of months, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see whether that works as a positive thing or not, isn't it? Because that's quite a key number and individuals in the team, isn't it? So if they aren't performing, then it definitely will be a struggle, especially with there's a couple of key guys out, certainly front row, isn't it? When we're a bit depleted, aren't we?
Yeah. So yeah, because we said we'd be looking at Genge. Is it not Tom Dunn from Bath? Is it? No, it'd be Harry Williams.
Do you want to try and pick a side quickly? Have we got time for that?
Yeah. But let's just finish up quickly predictions. Wales, Ireland.
Oh, I'm actually going to go. I think it should be Ireland, but I'm going to go Wales. I've got a sneaky suspicion they're going to put a performance out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. We can go with that. Right. So England team. Genji at loose head.
Yep. Genji, George,
Harry Williams.
Do you think Harry Williams or Will Stewart?
Harry Williams.
Yeah, probably on the experience side, isn't he? He's had a few more caps,
more experience. Second rows, Itoje and Laws.
Yep.
And then Beno, Curry, Vunipola.
Curry at 6, Earl at 7.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would like to see Harry Randall at 9, but he'll go.
Never going to happen, mate.
He'll go with Youngs.
Yeah. Be good to see Randall on the bench, though. Get on at the end if it's going well, yeah.
Or if it's not going well, mate.
Yeah, game changer.
Game changer. Well, what do they call the subs now? Game finishers. No.
Finisher, yeah.
Finishers. The finishers.
So Youngs and number 10?
I think he'll probably go Ford.
Yeah, agreed.
Ford, Farrell.
Yep.
Now, I would probably go with Dogwu, but I think he'll go Slade.
Yeah, agreed.
I think you're going to be looking at Johnny May, Anthony Watson,
Elliot Daly
at fullback.
Yeah, I think that's probably close to what he'll go for because it's your main guys if you're experienced, isn't it? Yeah, not going to let you down type players. But then I think the thing that's most lacking, certainly in the back line, is any real go forward, isn't it? Because you've got obviously Manu's not there. If Lawrence isn't, he's probably the only other guy, or a Dogwu, isn't it? But
yeah.
Maybe one of them on the bench to come on for that if it's needed, isn't it?
Absolutely, I agree. Okay, so that kind of wraps it up. Just to finish this up now, mate. I forgot that I did put a thing out on Twitter, and basically just saying any questions for this week's podcast, get them in now as we're recording tonight. And we did have a question.
Really?
We did. I know, which is quite cool.
Was it your brother?
No comment. No, I don't think it was. I don't know. Yeah, no, it might be. Hang on, I need to look at the question. What do you think about Australia suggesting they host the Lions tour? Discuss. I would just say no.
Yeah, that was my instant reaction to it. I mean, lovely of thank you very much, Australia. Lovely of them to offer, isn't it? I think that's, under the circumstances, it's really good of them.
Yeah,
a nice touch, or whatever you want to call it, to offer it. But does it really work? Does it really fit? It just doesn't feel right, does it?
No, I agree.
And is South Africa going to be happy with that? I mean, I just can't see. It's one of their sort of main rivals for starters, isn't it? As a nation,
yeah,
they're going to want them to host their Lions tour. It doesn't feel right. I think I'd rather have it in the UK.
Yeah, I just think it needs to be postponed. But we've talked about that to death, probably.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they come out with. I think the main concern with postponing it is can you guarantee that you can go ahead with it next year, isn't it?
Yeah, that would definitely be the problem.
But yeah, the other option I think someone's mentioned is just skipping this year essentially. So make South Africa the next tour, which will be 25, isn't it? So everyone sort of staggers on another 4 years, sort of thing. But,
might not be a bad option.
Yeah, I don't know how the other sort of Australia and New Zealand feel about that, because they've got to wait an extra 4 years for their tour, then, haven't they?
Yeah. Well, we'll just have to wait and see what happens, won't we?
Yeah. What was your sort of feeling about that idea? Similar, was it? Or?
What, for Australia?
Yeah.
No, it can't.
A definite no.
I wouldn't even entertain that. Nice of them to offer.
I don't know. The only argument for it is if Australia are genuinely in a position to fill stadiums. It's like I said before, like it's almost a case at the moment. I'd rather have rugby than no rugby, sort of thing, isn't it? But
yeah, true.
Because at the moment, I think it's looking like even if it's in UK, we're going to really be struggling to get any real crowds in the stadiums, isn't it? So
yeah, it's not going to happen, mate. Not in England.
No. So. If Australia can do that, then would you say, well, if you can fill a stadium and get control having tourists over and all that sort of thing, then there is that. I can see why it's been offered and is maybe a valued option, but no, it just doesn't feel right, does it?
No, it doesn't feel right, mate. It doesn't feel right. Definitely not. Okay, mate. Well, let's wrap things up there. Thanks very much for giving up your time again to come and chat rugby. And we'll.
No worries, mate. It's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Never a chore. And we'll catch up again next week and see if our predictions have improved and if we're celebrating an England victory.
Indeed, mate. Indeed. I see you've conveniently forgotten to omit the fantasy rugby this week. Is that because I'm absolutely steaming ahead?
Mate, no, you're not steaming. Hang on, Jesus. How many points ahead are you? 200.
Well, yeah, 210 ahead.
Right.
So I gained 57 on you this week, to be precise, mate.
I think you're taking this too seriously.
Steaming, absolutely steaming.
No, to be fair, it was a very, very good week for you.
Yeah.
Hats off to you. It was obviously you foresaw Bath having an absolute kick in and selecting half the Bristol team.
Yeah, I know. Back my boys in the prediction, but not exactly. On my fantasy rugby.
Exactly. I just want to look at your team now again. So you had the hooker Burn.
Yeah.
Ramrandra. O'Connor.
Yep.
Pieto.
And Luatua as well.
Yeah, so you literally had 4 tries out of that game.
To be fair, I think other than Luatua, they were all already in my squad. But I brought Luatua in, I think, this week.
Yes, you did.
But anyway, yeah, just thought I'd mention the fantasy rugby, mate.
Well, no, that's fair enough. Yeah, you had a nice game week of 462, and I had 393.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Never mind. There's always next week, mate. There's always next week.
Well, it's going to be interesting selections next week, mate, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a few. Oh no, well, no, probably won't be too bad, really. See, I didn't.
Well, it is the way some of the results are going. It's a bit.
Yeah, it's a bit hit and miss.
Because your players obviously score well if you're in the winning side, but generally. So that's throwing us a bit, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's my bench let me down again.
Well, yeah. I think it's your selection as well. You had a load of Gloucester players again, didn't you?
No, hang on. My Gloucester players got me 40 points. The new Argentinian, Ael Mano, he got me 30.
Yeah, he did well,
he
actually,
did well.
didn't he? He looks quite useful.
Yeah, and obviously I had Evans on the bench, lost him.
Yeah.
Rona did me good again. He got me a try.
Hassel Collins pulled out for both of us as well, didn't he? And Van der Meer for me.
Yeah. Oh, I put that young Sale prop in, Rod, and he obviously got shown up by Dan Cole, the old warhorse, gave him a bit of a lesson.
Yeah, that was a bit of a chance your arm there, didn't you, with that one?
Well, I've heard good things about him, so I thought I'd give him a go. Stevenson from Newcastle got me some good points.
Yeah, he had a good game.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll have to see, mate. I'll be definitely getting rid of Rory McConaughey, I'm afraid, because he's just not getting points at all.
Yeah, he's struggling, isn't he? He's like last season. He was stats-wise, he was one of those players who just always got decent amount of points, didn't he? But
he's dropped down quite considerably.
I suppose if you ain't getting the ball, then
well, forwards win games, but backs decide by how many, don't they?
Exactly.
Yeah, old school, mate. Right, listen, I'll let you get on, mate, and we'll catch up again soon.
Yes, mate. You need to get to bed and get some rest.
I do.
Love to the family. Hope you all get well soon, mate.
Thanks, mate. Say love to all your guys as well.
Cheers, mate.
Take care, mate. See you soon. Bye. Okay, so that was episode 18. Thank you for listening, for downloading, and obviously improving our stats. Just leaves me to say thanks again to our sponsor, I Spy Surveys, the go-to specialist survey and inspection company based in Exeter, Devon. Go check them out. Obviously, the episodes are all available on various platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcast, Anchor, and YouTube. And as I've said many times before, we are on Twitter at Top2InchesRP. So go over there, give us a follow, check out our comments, what we chat about, and yeah, give us a follow, get involved with the podcast. And we'll take it from there. We'll be back next week with episode 19, where we will have a look at the Six Nations results, and also the Gallagher Premiership, and the ladies' game, if there are any games. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll definitely be checking those out if there is. Thanks again for listening. Stay safe, and we'll speak again soon.